A big dig is getting underway in Poland in search of a mystery train filled with treasures buried at the end of World War II.
Deep beneath the Polish mountains, a secret may still be waiting. A train loaded with gold, jewels, and priceless artifacts, hidden by the Nazis in the final days of World War II. For decades, treasure hunters and historians have searched for this legendary Nazi gold train, but the question remains, is it real or just another wartime myth? Today, we're diving into one of history's most enduring mysteries, the vanished Nazi gold train of Lower Silesia. What really happened in those chaotic final days of the Third Reich? And could billions in stolen treasure still be buried, waiting to be found today? Welcome to Through the Ages, where we uncover the most interesting, shocking, and forgotten moments in history that altered the trajectory of our modern world. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss our weekly explorations into history's darkest corners and untold stories. Our community of history enthusiasts is growing every day, and we'd love for you to join us on this journey through time. Now, let's return to our story. A tale of Nazi plunder, desperate escape, and a treasure that seems to vanish into thin air. The story begins in early 1945. The Soviet Red Army was advancing rapidly from the east. Nazi Germany was collapsing, and Hitler's inner circle was desperately trying to hide the evidence of their crimes and their stolen wealth. According to legend, a heavily armored train left Breslau, now Wrocław, Poland, in January 1945. Its cargo, up to 300 tons of gold, jewels, and priceless artwork looted from across Europe. The train reportedly entered a tunnel in the Ural Mountains near the town of Wałbrzych and simply vanished. For decades, this remained just another wartime rumor, whispered about by locals but dismissed by serious historians. After all, the war had produced countless myths and exaggerations. Why should this one be any different? But there was something about the gold train story that refused to die. Perhaps it was the specific details, the exact tunnel, the precise date, the descriptions of the cargo, or perhaps it was the tantalizing possibility that somewhere, somehow, a fortune in Nazi loot was still waiting to be discovered. Then, in 2015, something happened that shocked the world and brought this obscure Polish legend into the global spotlight. Two treasure hunters, Piotr Koper, a Polish builder, and Andreas Richter, a German businessman, came forward with an extraordinary claim. Using ground-penetrating radar, they said they had found the train. Their scans showed what appeared to be a 100-meter-long metal object buried deep beneath the earth. "We have clear evidence of the train," Koper told reporters. "We can see the outline, the wagons. This is no hoax." The announcement created a global sensation. Polish Deputy Culture Minister Piotr Koper declared he was 99% certain the train had been found. Treasure hunters flooded the area. Armed guards were posted to keep people away from the site. The world held its breath, waiting for the discovery of the century. But here's where our story takes its first unexpected turn. When experts from the Polish military and Krakow's mining academy conducted their own scans, they found nothing. No train, no metal, just natural rock formations. Official excavations in 2016 confirmed it. There was no train at the location Koper and Richter had identified. The treasure hunters maintained they were right, but the evidence suggested otherwise. So, was the whole thing just a hoax? Not necessarily, because while this particular search ended in disappointment, the legend of the Nazi gold train is built on some very real historical foundations. During World War II, the Nazis systematically looted occupied countries on an industrial scale. Gold, currency, artwork, religious artifacts, nothing was safe. The total value of assets stolen by the Third Reich is estimated to be in the hundreds of billions in today's dollars. This wasn't random pillaging. It was organized theft, directed from the highest levels of Nazi leadership. Heinrich Himmler, head of the SS, personally oversaw the confiscation of Jewish property. Hermann Göring, Hitler's second-in-command, amassed a private collection of stolen art worth billions. Even Hitler himself had plans for a massive Führer museum that would display the greatest artworks of Europe, all of them stolen. And as the war neared its end, the Nazis did indeed try to hide much of this plunder. In May 1945, American troops discovered over 100 tons of gold and countless artworks hidden in the Merkers salt mine in Germany. The famous Hungarian gold train, carrying valuables stolen from Hungarian Jews, was intercepted by Allied forces in Austria. But not everything was recovered. Billions in Nazi loot remains missing to this day. Gold bars stamped with Nazi insignia, paintings by masters like Raphael, Rembrandt, and Van Gogh, jewelry stripped from Holocaust victims, all vanished in the chaos of Germany's collapse. What makes the Polish gold train story particularly compelling is the location. The Ural Mountains in Lower Silesia were home to Project Riese, one of the Third Reich's largest construction projects. Beginning in 1943, thousands of concentration camp prisoners were forced to carve massive tunnels and underground chambers into the mountains. The scale of Project Riese was staggering. 7 separate underground complexes, over 8 kilometers of tunnels, chambers large enough to hold factories, barracks, even entire command centers, all built by slave labor, with prisoners working until they died from exhaustion, starvation, or disease. The purpose of Project Riese remains debated. Some historians believe it was meant to be a headquarters for Hitler. Others suggest it was designed to house armaments factories safe from Allied bombing. What we know for certain is that many of these tunnels were never completed, and those that were finished were often sealed by the retreating Germans. Perfect hiding places for a train full of treasure? Perhaps. Eyewitness accounts add another layer to the mystery. A retired Polish miner named Tadeusz Słowikowski claimed that in 1975, a German man on his deathbed revealed the location of the train. According to this story, the train entered a tunnel that was then sealed with explosives, hiding it forever. Other witnesses reported seeing a heavily guarded train in the area during those chaotic final days of the war. Some even claimed to have helped hide it. I saw them moving something big into the mountains, one elderly resident told a local newspaper in 2015. We weren't allowed near, but there were SS guards everywhere. Something important was happening. But if the train exists, why hasn't it been found? This is where conspiracy theories begin to multiply. Some believe the train was discovered long ago, secretly recovered by the Soviets who occupied Poland after the war. The KGB allegedly conducted numerous classified operations in the area, removing valuable items and documents. Russian archives from this period remain classified, fueling speculation about what the Soviets might have found. Others suggest that powerful interests are still protecting the secret. After all, much of the Nazi loot was stolen from Jewish families and other victims of the Holocaust. Finding it would raise difficult questions about ownership and reparations. Insurance companies, banks, and even governments might prefer the treasure remain buried, literally and figuratively. There's even a theory that the train contains something far more valuable or dangerous than gold. Some speculate it might hold prototypes of advanced Nazi weapons, scientific research, or even evidence of extraterrestrial technology that Hitler's scientists were rumored to be developing. The Nazis were known to be working on revolutionary weapons in the final years of the war, from jet aircraft to long-range missiles. Could the real secret of the gold train be technological rather than financial? Far-fetched? Absolutely. But these theories speak to our fascination with buried treasure and wartime secrets. The reality is likely more mundane. If the train exists, it's probably still hidden because the Nazis were very good at hiding things. The tunnels of Project Riese stretch for kilometers, with many sections collapsed or flooded. Finding anything in this labyrinth would be extraordinarily difficult. Modern technology has improved our chances. Ground-penetrating radar, magnetometers, and other advanced scanning equipment can detect metal and voids deep underground. But these methods aren't perfect, especially in mountainous terrain with complex geology. But that hasn't stopped people from trying. In fact, the search has become big business. After the 2015 media frenzy, tourism in Wałbrzych increased by over 40%. Hotels were booked solid. Restaurants created special gold train menus. Souvenir shops sold miniature trains and fake gold bars. For a struggling post-industrial region, the legend became an economic lifeline. Local tour guides now offer gold train expeditions that take visitors to various tunnel entrances and potential hiding spots. Most acknowledge the train probably doesn't exist, but that doesn't make the tours any less popular. People come here for the mystery, says one tour operator. They want to stand where history might be buried. They want to feel connected to something bigger than themselves. This brings us to an uncomfortable question. Do we want the mystery solved? Or is the legend more valuable than any gold that might be found? For historians and Holocaust survivors, the answer is clear. If Nazi loot exists, it should be recovered and returned to its rightful owners or their descendants. This isn't about treasure hunting, it's about justice. Every gold bar, every painting, every piece of jewelry represents a crime, says one Holocaust researcher. These weren't just things, they were people's lives, their histories, their families. Returning them is the least we can do. But for others, the allure of the unsolved mystery is powerful. It's a story that captures our imagination, a perfect blend of history, conspiracy, and the eternal human fascination with hidden treasure. In 2018, a new team of explorers announced yet another attempt to find the train. Using more advanced technology, they claimed they could succeed where others had failed. Their results? Inconclusive. In 2020, satellite imaging revealed several anomalies in the area, unusual ground disturbances that could indicate buried structures. But without excavation, which requires expensive permits and equipment, these remain just intriguing possibilities. And just this year, in May 2025, Polish officials announced that the hunt for the Nazi gold train was under review after receiving a new tip-off claiming to reveal the train's exact location. This development has reignited interest in the decades-old legend, though no physical evidence has yet been found. The search continues, driven by a mix of historical interest, financial motivation, and simple human curiosity. Each new technology, each newly declassified document, each aging witness coming forward with memories, all keep the legend alive. So what's the truth? Is there a Nazi gold train buried beneath the Polish mountains? Or is it just a compelling myth, a story we want to believe? The evidence suggests the specific train claimed to be found in 2015 doesn't exist, but that doesn't mean no train was ever hidden. The Nazis certainly had both the motivation and the opportunity to conceal vast amounts of stolen wealth as their empire crumbled. Perhaps the most telling fact is this: of the estimated $580 billion worth of assets looted by the Nazis, less than 20% has ever been recovered. The rest, gold, artwork, currency, and other valuables, remains missing. Some was likely destroyed in the chaos of war. Some may have been secretly recovered and never reported, and some could still be hidden, waiting to be found. The mountains of Lower Silesia, with their network of unfinished tunnels and sealed chambers, would have been an ideal hiding place. Whether it was loaded onto a train or simply stored in crates, Nazi loot could still be buried there, protected by rock and secrecy for over 75 years. Or perhaps the legend of the gold train serves a different purpose. It reminds us of the enormous scale of Nazi plunder, wealth stolen from millions of victims who never saw justice. It keeps alive the memory of Project Riese, built with the blood and suffering of concentration camp prisoners. And it speaks to our human desire for closure, for answers to the many questions left by history's darkest chapter. The search continues. New technologies may yet reveal secrets hidden beneath the earth. Documents, still classified in Russian archives, might someday be released, shedding light on Soviet activities in the area after the war. Aging witnesses may come forward with new information before their memories are lost forever. Until then, the Nazi gold train remains what it has always been: a tantalizing mystery, a symbol of wartime greed, and a reminder that some secrets of World War II have yet to be uncovered. Is it myth or reality? Perhaps in the end, it's a bit of both. A legend built on truth, embellished by time, but pointing towards something real: the vast scale of Nazi theft and the many treasures that remain lost to this day. If you found this video interesting, make sure to click that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. We've got more forgotten moments in history coming your way every week. And if you have theories about what happened to the Nazi gold train, share them in the comments below. Our community loves discussing these historical mysteries together. This is Through the Ages, where history's mysteries come to life. Until next time.